Welcome back to Daytime Live. Now, there has been a lot of talk about the quarantine and the spike that we've had recently. Let's read this the Gleaner letter of the day from Levine Burke. It reads, what does it read?
Dear editor, it really saddens me to see the extent to which the returning residents are reportedly flouting the quarantine rules in Jamaica. Now, we ought not to ask tourists, because if we cannot contain ourselves, how do you expect tourists to contain themselves? After all, it's not their country, but ours.
The sad truth is that our own people seem to be displaying slight regard for their homeland. They seem to be so accustomed to beat the system with little, if any, recourse. So much so that it is easy to beat the permeable system at the airports and leave at home the phone with the tracker app while they roam freely with no regard for the rest of us.
How do all of them expect others to think that our lives matter when our own people have no regard for the lives of our own brothers and sisters? Frankly, if these people were unable to travel for so long and still survived, what would a mere 2 weeks quarantine in their own home do to them? I'm sorry, but they don't have any right to talk about whose life matters when they are making a mockery of people's lives.
Frankly, they're all no better than all the others who cut people's lives short. Olivine Burke.
Yeah, this is a sentiment that I've been expressing for.
Tell me the sentiment.
For a little bit. Well, one, we here at home, for when the restrictions were first implemented, and everybody kind of just abided by it. Well, most persons. But you had others who were just finding the creases and the cracks and the crevices to do what they wanted, you know? Now that we have opened the borders, and tourists and returning residents and other persons coming in, is almost like the bug bite them, and they're finding ways to just, as they said in the letter, beat the system. And that's unfortunate, because we saw where the new cases were kind of leveling out, and they were trickling down. And after we opened the borders, you saw like spikes in the cases, and everybody's gotten more relaxed. Unofficial gatherings, unauthorized gatherings, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff now, and we're paying the price for it now. You see where on the eve of a general election, eve of school opening, the cases are just every day they're just going up. I really believe that schools shouldn't be open.
Yeah,
and a lot of parents are having that concern.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, I have many thoughts about it, because my opinion generally is not everybody else's opinion generally. I feel like I hear what she's saying. I think with regards to us not displaying a certain regard for our own people, I do see that. And as much as I am not a political person, I don't support any party, really. I support the betterment of everybody.
Our country.
Our country. So I'm not here going, no man, if I know this person, then me not in it. I don't really care. Whatever helps everybody, all of us, go forward is who I'm with. So let me be clear about saying that. And I feel like with what is happening now, I feel very much, and please don't come for me, I feel it's very irresponsible to have certain kind of gathering happening now purely for the purpose of, I feel it's unnecessary. And I feel like if you're going to do it, then we don't need no gatherings. Everything should be done like some fests and those other things. Online polls, online things. This meeting up and only two buses alone.
There are two sides.
Buses. What you're talking about?
There are two sides to every coin. There are two sides. The authorities can put regulations in place. And you can hold the authorities responsible for the kind of regulations and operations that they promote and they suggest. But we as citizens, as individuals, as humans going through this coronavirus pandemic, because it's not affecting just them, it affects everybody in different ways, we have a responsibility to act in a certain way.
But I 100% agree with you.
And I think what is happening is more and more the balance is being tilted to, if no matter what the authorities put in place, if we as citizens and we as humans operate in a certain way, COVID can defeat us.
I agree with you.
So if they didn't put restrictions in place,
yeah,
and we operated safely, we'd be fine. We would.
I also feel like I also want to say to the young people out there, so what I just said was primarily targeted at, you know, voters and whatever. But the young people, like I'm seeing a lot of things happening where the young persons aren't necessarily taking it as seriously as they should. Engaging in the protocols in the way. A lot of times I see young people with a mask and a mask there under ear. So
I think everybody doing
just kind of foolishness like that. I'm just like, come on, young people as well. Like, it's your island as well. The doctors are now saying as well that they're seeing a lot of young people that with the spike in numbers. So I feel like we have to, I think everybody have to do better. But I do think that with everything, it starts from the top. Whatever mommy and daddy is doing, the children them undoubtedly are going to do and worse. I feel everything trickles from the top down. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask the people to hold themselves to a certain standards that the top is not holding themselves to. But personally, so I'm like, look, if you have the foolishness, don't be upset when you say everybody else has the foolishness.
Like you referred to, like what's happening now.
See, it's hard, people.
No. What you're talking about is, like I'm saying it quickly. We're talking about in reference to the campaigning. I'm talking about what about before?
No, man, I'm talking about opening the borders and all that kind of stuff. Like everything. Opening like it's stupid.
So we shouldn't have
How come you close the borders when there was 10 people and you open it when there's hundreds? That to me, that the logic I don't even understand. I'm like, I don't get it. And now I heard somebody say on the news yesterday that it's not that bad and schools are opening as normal come September. Excuse me. So you close the schools when there were 10, but you're gonna open the schools when we have over. Don't play with me and my daughter's life. Anyway, whew. We soon come. Daytime Live will be right back with a special guest. Don't move. Stick and stay. We soon come.